These three things we've all discussed mostly in Unit 2 on absolutism. The constitutional monarchy, remember, is two parts. It means yes, there is a monarch, there's a king or queen, but it works in relation to a constitution that gives rights to the people. So it is some sort of cooperation between the citizens and the king or queen. A government involvement with the economy. We talked specifically in Unit 2 about mercantilism, a government policy that's goal is to export more than you import in a country. The government is going to do that by creating fixed prices, forcing business owners to follow specific rules. And capitalism is essentially economic freedom for business owners. So how all of this works together. In an absolute monarchy, they have total control of the economy. They could use something like mercantilism to, gain wealth, but that ultimately hurts the citizens. In a constitutional monarchy, the people are getting involved and are going to have their say considered. So it is more likely that in a constitutional monarchy, capitalism is the preferred economic system because it gives more freedom to the actual citizens. So if we use the explanation of the surf shops, the board shops, in capitalism, if board shop A sells a surfboard for $20, board shop B can sell that same board for $19 because they want to sell more. They want more profit. The citizens want more power. So the capitalism is more possible and more likely under a constitutional monarchy. This leads us into a discussion of the Industrial Revolution, in which wealth and cash and success becomes very important. We're going to start by reviewing the triangle trade. We have this three-part system that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You get raw materials from the New World, take them to Europe and manufacture them for products, and you sell or trade those products for slaves. And then those slaves are taken to the New World, where they harvest more raw materials so more products can be made so that there's more wealth to buy more slaves. It's a system that just, as the longer it continues, the bigger it gets. So we'll have a similar situation with the Industrial Revolution.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the British Agricultural Revolution. The British Agricultural Revolution is a product of scientific innovation. And keep in mind that where this revolution starts is in Britain and also in the Low Countries. That's the Netherlands, Belgium, that area. And this is where farming takes one of the biggest steps that it's taken really maybe since the start of farming or something like that. And we're going to be all set, okay? So keep in mind, I've got a little acronym for you, all set. Science, entrepreneurship, and technology. These are our three buzzwords for the agricultural revolution. Science, entrepreneurship, and technology. So first of all, let's talk about agricultural innovations, the farmer as scientist. And this is the old way of doing crop rotation, three-field crop rotation, where in one field you would have wheat, in one field you would have oats, and one field you would let lie fallow. And you would rotate these fields from year to year. So going from one, the wheat field would be the oats field, and then you would let one field rest every 3 years. So you rotate every 3 years. The problem here, though, is that in any given year, 1/3 of your fields are being unused. And this is kind of bordering on unacceptable. The whole point of having fields is to use them, to grow stuff on them, and that sort of thing. And so what you see in the scientific revolution is a 4-field crop rotation. So out with the old, in with the new. In one field we're growing wheat, and another field we're growing oats, and in the other 2 fields we'll grow stuff that while wheat exhaust the soil, clover and turnips, they replenish the soil. So we'll grow things that make the soil healthy, and then we'll rotate those so that every fourth year something will be a wheat field or the oats field or the clover or turnip field. And this way all of our fields are being grown upon, or however we would say that. They're all being used. And more fields equals more food. This way we can feed more people than we were able to do previously. And as far as breeding animals, there has got to be a better way than this, okay? Just throwing them all in one place and just letting whatever happen. That's not very scientific. Let's think about a more scientific approach, and that is selective breeding. This is applying these scientific principles, that what would happen if I breed this animal with desirable characteristics with this animal with desirable characteristics, and enter science, all this kind of stuff that I don't understand. Ask your biology teacher or something like that. But woo, science, all right? It's cool, it's awesome, it lets us eat more. An example of this would be this Belgian blue cow, which what happens here is there's some kind of genetic defect, which the selective breeding makes even more so, kind of like some sort of Habsburg cow or something. And this cow gets bigger because of this genetic defect, and we can eat more because of this. Now note Belgium in the Low Country. So the Belgian blue cow, big cow. What does a Belgian blue cow say? Moo. That's right. Just like any other cow, it says moo. So much better. Now we've got more food, we've got better stuff, all thanks to science and innovation. Okay, so let's talk about this innovation. The farmer as entrepreneur, the farmer not just as some guy growing crops, but the farmer as a businessman. Okay, so here is traditional agriculture. We can see all of these people there. Now, note what they're doing there. If you look at it, I mean, you think about it, you see some people there working every once in a while, but really, most of these people are taking a break. You just see all these peasants working this common field that really doesn't belong to anyone in particular. That's traditional agriculture as it was practiced in the Middle Ages. And the new agriculture is typified by enclosures, okay? So instead of having this common pasture that we see here where everybody's animals go and here's everybody's fields and we all throw our stuff here, now with the enclosure system, you see that people are marking their individual fields and enclosing them with fences, unlike this other common system. So we start to see market economics, private property, and all of that. Now, as far as the downside, this did hurt poor farmers. They lost their traditional grazing rights. They could no longer place their cattle on the common land. Now, the upside, again, more food, all right? Agricultural production as a whole is becoming more efficient and more market-oriented. So while some of these folks are upset about losing their traditional rights, this is still resulting in more food, which is really kind of the whole point of agriculture. And there were people that were negatively affected, and a lot of them would go to these poorhouses. The English passed poor laws to try to accommodate some of these people who were displaced, these small farmers who were displaced. And so this is a workhouse that provided shelter, and you would spend your day working if you lived at the poorhouse. But once again, while it's unfortunate that some people were poor and that sort of thing, these bigger farms create, again, more food. So while we're on the topic of innovation, let's talk about the farmer as inventor, the farmer who is improving agriculture by making new agricultural tools and improving existing technologies. It's been a while since there's been innovation. In fact, Jesus's parable of the sower, where this guy's just walking around, just throwing around seed, and it gets some of the seed gets stuck in the thorns, some of it falls along the path, some of it gets on the rocky soil. It looks like most of the seed in this parable doesn't get where it's supposed to go. Why? Because this guy's just throwing it all around, like, seed, seed, seed. There's nothing scientific about just throwing stuff around. So the scientific revolution and the mindset